All right. Hey, guys. Welcome back. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at a singles storyline. I try to get these guys out on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Obviously, things go wrong. Times change, weeks get bumpy, but that's what we always strive for. So, happy Wednesday, everyone. We start out with the Queen of Swords in the reverse, the Nine of Wands upright, the King of Wands upright. We do have somebody that's still very wounded. Divine feminine, possibly a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Does not have to be a feminine, it's just somebody in feminine energy. Always, it could be any gender. Nor A, so great to see you, darling. I'm great. How are you, baby? Um, this starts out with a character who I think, I mean, yes, sometimes the Queen of Swords can be stuck in a rut of like, I'm angry. But on the other hand, when we see this, it's more, I'm wounded. Maybe I'm angry too, but I'm angry because I got wounded and because I'm still carrying this. So we'll just go ahead and read it as if we have a feminine who has a wound still, a scar still. This is not the person who gave her that scar, though. We've got some awesome, warm hearted King of Wands, and I'm wondering if they are either able to read her energy really well and be able to see she's maybe more of a fighter because she's been through the meat grinder. I mean, this is a wounded warrior. Keyword here is warrior. Just because she doesn't smile a whole lot, just because she seems a little fierce, maybe it's because she's known a hell of a lot of battles. And this almost feels like somebody who's like, I can see that. That's why I'm honestly, I feel warm toward her. She doesn't scare me. Her, if she does have a bit of a salty attitude, doesn't scare me off. There's something really loving here. Something really nice. Hi, Nellie. Thank you, Nora. We get the Knight of Pentacles. He's saying, it's all right if it takes a while. It's all right if it takes a while for me to gravitate toward her. It's all right if it takes a while for her to maybe let some of her defenses down. It's okay. We have Strength card. He is looking at a wounded feminine and saying, what I see when I look at her is somebody who was strong enough to get through some serious shit. And that, I can tip my hat to anybody who is, fought their way through some difficult things in life. And if she's still, a bit on the battlefield or something, that is totally understandable. The trade-off is she's a really strong person. That seems to be a pretty remarkable, like he's giving a lot of concessions. He's looking at her strengths. He's looking at where those strengths came from. He's like not judging what her behavior, his or her, do bear in mind, it doesn't have to be a feminine and a male in this. This could be same sex, reverse gender roles. But it seems like he admires some of what she's been, like pushed through. He sees or can spot something about her. With this Four of Cups, this is so crazy because he's like, I just wish I had to either figure this out about her sooner, or I wish that I had known her before. I wish there's something here about a regret. What is your regret about when you seem to be looking at her with these like amazing eyes? I wish she'd married me. I wish I had met her and we had been able to be together. Okay, so maybe he knows a lot more about why she's single right now. We definitely are telling the story of a divine feminine that is single at the moment. Yeah, so we have an Eight of Cups, we have the Star. He is like, man, if only either I had not. Okay, so I don't know if he has any other past connection to her, but he's either wishing that she had, left somebody sooner so that he could have met her and married her, or he's wishing and feeling regret, like, I wish that maybe he left. Maybe this is like he knew her and then he took off, like, whatever, moved away. This could be somebody that he knew a long time ago. And it's like, wow, in the years that I was gone, I come back and I see a different version of her and I know what her life has been like. And it's like, but I really thought the world of her. Why did I not pursue her when I could have? This almost feels like somebody that knew her and could have, even if they had been ready, they could have pursued some kind of commitment with her, some kind of dating or some kind of relationship. But instead, life took them in a different direction. But she was always somebody that they really admired. And now they're like, I found out what her life has actually been like. And God, she got a crappy scenario. Okay, hang on. What is this Queen of Swords life been made up of? the Fool, the Seven of Wands. Okay, so this kind of implies that we're dealing with somebody who ended up with a total joker. Like, and I don't mean in a good way. I'm thinking like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Somebody who made her life more difficult, somebody that maybe she took a leap of faith with somebody and they turned out to be somebody who like torpedoed her life, made everything harder, everything more difficult. Somebody doesn't have to be intentionally like diabolical to actually still produce nothing but blockages in our life. Because this feels like a fool that she ended up entangling herself with, and it ended up creating like either a lot of pitfalls in her life, or this connection ended up kind of like making her feel like I have to protect myself because I damn sure know nobody else is going to. You know, sometimes it's just if another person is just careless and they don't seem to, you know, pay attention, that can have the same impact of like, oh my God, you literally like you gambled our money away and now there's all this debt and we're not together, but I'm the one having to pay off the debt. You know, like it could have been something along those lines where she was just with a fool. With the World card sideways, it is like it's harder for her to restart her own life because of these obstacles. Can I just see one more card on the Fool? Was that a person? Was that an energy? What was that? Knight of Pentacles sideways. Okay, so here's the thing. We're going to have to be super fair, even though it sounds a little bit like rude, perhaps. But let's say, sorry, guys. Let's say that the person that she kind of took a leap of faith on, she could have been a little foolish too, decided to give somebody her trust without knowing them very well. And it's like if she had slowed down the, you know, meet and greet, slowed down getting to know them, maybe she would have seen some of these elements. On the other hand, some of their traits may not have become pronounced until later. You know, once in a while, a person changes over time, or they give us a false impression. And then we see like, wow, why did you just become so careless and lazy? That's, you know, you had some motivation and now you just became careless, lazy. And, you know, I mean, I think vices do that to people sometimes. You know, we start out and it's like, oh, you know, this person is motivated. We're building a world together. And then all of a sudden they get hooked on, you know, let's say gambling, for example, and they gamble away all the money. And it's like that, you know, a disease or a vice like that can, you know, kind of spiral. And it's like, okay, this isn't what I thought they were. And then, you know, something shifted over time that I couldn't have foreseen coming. Maybe they couldn't have even foreseen it coming. It doesn't look like she was with a straight up villain. It looks though like her life got immensely more difficult because of who she was connected to at some point in time. I mean, heck, maybe this is a, you know, part of her childhood. Maybe this isn't even about a romantic partner. We don't really see romance here. What we see is, I said, what was her life like? Maybe she had a grown-up parent that wasn't really a grown-up. Maybe she was raised by somebody, she had to become the grown-up, and everything was 10 times harder because she's trying to take care of an adult who is sometimes trying to grow up, but then they keep, you know, sliding backwards. Whatever this is, I feel like this wasn't like just her like poor choices that created this. I think it's like things snowballed and got out of control pretty fast. It's just her life has been difficult. She's had a lot more obstacles to getting her life to blossom and grow. And I think she's a little bit maybe exhausted, maybe feels let down by people, particularly if this is more like a childhood thing. If she had like a goofball parent or somebody that was struggling with things, and it's like, my God, I was a kid having to raise myself and having to raise a parent, you know, like I could see why she might have a bit of a chip on her shoulder. Like life wasn't supposed to be 10 times freaking harder for me than for everybody else. Yet that's how it was. And I almost think that going back now to this King of Wands, maybe he's seen some of that. He knows, look, he thinks she is freaking gorgeous. But I'm wondering if there's this big old regret, like, why didn't I either, you know, pursue her when I could have? Let me just ask about his life. Let's change decks for him. As far as your world is or was, We have Queen of Swords sideways. We have Page of Pentacles. Look, he thought about her a lot. Maybe even thought about staying in touch with her, but didn't really know if he should. What was your interaction with her? Because you kind of seem like somebody that's liked her for a really long time, but have been out of her world for many, many years and never dated her when you did have the chance. Two of Wands. So what was your interaction with her? It was always kind of like indecisive. I do not think that this is somebody who ever like dated her, but he definitely has some knowledge of her. And I'm thinking that this goes way back. I'm thinking he knows an awful lot about who her, what her life had looked like. And he didn't really step into her world, even though it was like she was always on the periphery of his mind. This feels like, maybe this is somebody who was like, oh, I went through school all the way with her. I always was attracted to her, but I never asked her out. After high school, I left, went to college. I know she didn't. Maybe I know she kind of had other things to still take care of. It almost feels like that, like a missed opportunity for two people to have actually pursued anything, even though it feels like he carried a torch for her. But he never, I don't know, why did you not make a decision to like pursue something with her? Page of Swords, there was always this attraction. Maybe he wasn't mature enough yet in himself. Maybe he was shy. This is somebody spying from afar. She definitely has been the apple of his eye for a very, very, very long time. The Dreamer in the reverse, the Five of Wands in the reverse. I will also say this. He might have said, I didn't think she ever noticed me. And so I was too nervous to take a leap toward her. Now I wish that I had. I definitely feel like this is one of those storylines where we have two people that have known of one another for many years. This is not a brand new love story, as in two people just barely met each other. This is like two people that maybe lived in the same town, grew up together, went through high school together, that kind of thing. They're, grown-up adults. They've spent, 10 years out in the world. And now either he is re-encountering her, or as a more mature individual, he's like reflecting on all of this going, I always liked her. I always thought she was amazing, but I didn't have the courage to move toward her. That's the number one reason why I didn't. It wasn't any other reason. And now that I have more courage, now that I know myself, now that I went out into the world and found my own identity, now I can look at her and say, I should have actually been there for her. I should have pursued something with her. I should have been, able to connect to her, because I cheated myself out of somebody that I liked. And frankly, maybe she could have used a friend. Man, she's strong. I don't think that he did this to be rude or to be selfish or anything like that. I just think he wasn't maybe him who he is today back then. Victoria Miller, you're so generous. Oh my God, thank you. Thank you, baby. That is so unbelievably kind. Thank you. So generous. Thank you for that donation. That is absolutely mind-blowing. Thank you, babe. Black Butterfly 25. Oh, happy belated birthday, love. Probably, did you drop me a message? Because every week, for the, if you've dropped me a message in our video, if I didn't already get to you, I do that in the next. So if you drop me a message on Monday, then next Monday, I will give you a little birthday celebration in our next Monday's Members Corner, babe. So happy belated birthday, though, sweetheart. I hope it was absolutely wonderful. And I hope this week is incredible for you. This looks like with the Ace of Cups and the Nine of Cups, look, maybe this sounds like we're fast forwarding too much, but this is his component of the story. He's like, I should have married her. I should have had a baby with her. I should have had a life with her. That's what I should have done. I should have been with her. Nine of Cups. She was the person that I wanted. She was the person that would make me happy. And I know that. I knew that a long time ago. So why didn't I just do it back then? You know what? Thankfully, we have characters that are more grown up. We have characters that are, and as much as she may come across as somebody who's got higher boundaries up, maybe a little bit of saltiness, really, it's just maybe she needs somebody to actually come in and be stable for once, offer her something for once instead of her having to carry other people on her back. I think that you can probably soften an energy for her pretty quickly if you show her something different than what she's been used to. When we get those cards, those quirk cards in the reverse, it's when we have a karmic cycle, right? So it's something that's been repetitious. In this case, it's not her repetition. It's the fact that she keeps getting Groundhog Day in life. She keeps getting situations where there's goofballs and fools and people that expect her to take care of them, even at her own expense, even at making her life 10 times more difficult to claw her own way up in life. And that repetitious cycle, if everybody keeps bringing their drama to her table, no wonder she's just over it. If you show her something different, you just might turn her around instantly into this amazing Queen of Swords upright who is much more willing. I just think she's not willing to give nothing to anybody right now, because she's like, I literally have had to work 10 times harder than most people because I've carried other people on my back who've made poor decisions and I've suffered for them. So I'm not giving to anybody else now if all they're going to do is bring grief to my life and I got to fix their problems as well as still try to keep my head above water. This is her attitude, but I don't think she's actually mean at all. He obviously doesn't think so. He sees her as this incredibly loving, God, she'd make a great mama. She's a good mama bear. She's my wish come true. He also wants to see her happy. So I really like him for this. Like, I love the way he's looking at her and seeing, like, he can see right through it. Maybe it's because he knew her a long time ago. Maybe it's because he knows what her life has been. You know, this is one of those stories that reminds us that if we have a little bit more backstory on someone's life, we can look at their behavior totally different. We could have read this as like, oh, wow, here's this karmic, bitchy person who won't get over their own wounds, doesn't want to heal themselves, and they just want to stay mad at the world. That's not what the story is, though. There's so much more depth to this. There's so much more backstory. Figuring out why somebody behaves in a certain way and seeing it in a totally different light. Now we know why somebody's a little bit like, she could come across as sour. She could come across as somebody that doesn't smile at very many people. She doesn't want people in her world. They bring her drama and they sink her ship. That's what she's known, and she's sick of treading this much water and trying to keep her head up while other people drown her. That kind of thing, like, now we know why she's like that. And because he has more backstory on her, I love the stories that make us actually consider, you know, what, and this whole week is about what's hidden, right? That's why we got the masks, and that's why I wanted to go down this road. Plus I found a really cool deck with the masks on it. So, you know, I got to go down that road. I've been so excited. I've been waiting for these to get here. I ordered these a while ago and they finally arrived. And I'm like, yay. We get the Hanged Man and the Emperor. He is in this energy of, and it's not to say that he's like, you know, what she needs is a good old, you know, version of me to come on in and give her everything she didn't have. But I will say, in some ways, he is saying that. I want to approach her and I want to show her, you know, like this version of me. He's very much grown up at this point. He is very much, he's not even just a King of Wands. He's saying, I need to show her what real stability looks like and that I have something to offer. I'm not here to take, and hope that she can see the difference between me and somebody else. It may take time before she'll believe that, though. That's all right. I got time. She is so worth it in his mind. She is so worth like building that trust with. And he's like, she'll see with my consistency over time that I am different. The Hanged Man is a different perspective. It's like, how's she supposed to trust that somebody's different unless I consistently show up as different? And he's like, it's not enough to come in as a knight, or excuse me, as a King of Wands. I have to come in as an emperor. I have to come in as somebody who has something to actually offer. I have to show her my empire. I have to show her I'm not here to get you to do my dirty work for me. I'm capable. I've built something. I'm not just here to say, oh, I want to love you and then build with you. He wants to introduce her to what he's already built for himself and show her, like, you do realize I'm different than other people. I've created a world. I don't ask somebody else to, you know, come in and help me build it because I've been able to create something myself. I'd like you to be a part of it. I'd like you to, you know, sit in my empire with me, and together we can make decisions. It really feels like he wants to invite her into his world. There's a strong sense of, like, I would say he wants to both provide like a shelter, but keep in mind his first thought about her is, man, I respect her. God, she's strong. This is not like, oh, come here, wounded bird, let me fix you energy. But this is somebody who's compassionate and who looks at the story and sees what she's been through, and he can definitely see what her life has been. So really beautiful. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here, everybody. I am so gracious, so grateful that you guys are here, and you're so incredibly kind. Victoria Miller, unbelievably generous. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Nora A, thank you again, love. The moving, I'm rolling up sleeves. We got real moving to do. And today kind of starts with some of the heavy items. Yes, because I don't need so many carved chairs in the place that I'm moving to. I happen to have a knack for picking up beautiful, heavy carved chairs from thrift stores and such when I find them. And so I have a little bit of a collection of some beautiful vintage pieces that I'm actually just going to put in storage for right now. But Stephanie, so good to see you. Family account. Thank you, love. Cole Kelly, hi. Shout out to you in Oregon. Jadzia, hi. Shout out to you in Canada. Empress DC, awesome to catch you, babe. Robin, Empress DC, are you really in DC? Shout out to you if you're there. Dun Divine, wonderful to see you. And yes, I'm glad you like this one. This is a fun one. Bees Mystic Faith, hey, Esoteric. That's awesome. You changed your phone wallpaper to the same colors. You know, I didn't mean to do so many like pinks and blues necessarily back to back. You know, I like to kind of change up color tones, but I was just so excited when this one arrived, and I had to go ahead and switch our backdrops, and because I was excited to get to this one. Hi, Renee, Courtney Walsh, awesome to see you. Black Butterfly 25 again. Happy birthday, babe. Hi, Teresa. Jadzia, thank you. Cynthia, hi, honey. Lightning Cass, thank you, babe. Delinda, hi, honey. My pleasure, Cynthia. D Manion, hey, shout out to you in Ireland. Thank you for being here, babe. Weevy's in the house. Oh, good. I'm glad you like this one. Yes, and yes, I will be doing more zodiacs later on tonight. So right now we just did 4 so far. So we have Virgo, we have Leo, we have Taurus, and Libra. And then tonight we'll do Capricorn, probably Aquarius, and I'm thinking probably Pisces as well. If I can squeeze in one more tonight, I probably will. But I'm really anxious to get not just through this first round of the zodiacs this week, but I'm really excited to get to the next round of zodiacs because of what I have planned for those. So I really like my storytelling, guys. It's really fun. Angie, hi, hun. Selene, so great to catch you, love. Your vote is for Sag NES. All right, we'll keep Sag in mind for sure. If I can squeeze Sag in tonight, I sure will. You guys, thanks again. Lots of love. I hope everybody's going to have a beautiful day, and I'll see you guys again later on this evening. All right, bye for right now.